How do you treat people who sabotage you or attack you? Is it an eye for an eye or forgive, forget, ignore? It's none of those. You prevent it from happening in the first place. You prevent people sabotaging you. You prevent people attacking you by striking the fear of God into them in the first place. You make yourself seem so... You make yourself seem like somebody that people don't want to mess with in the first place. You strike the fear of God into them so that they don't try to sabotage you and they don't try to attack you. That's what you do. You prevent it from happening in the first place. You get to the problem. You get to the problem at the root. All right. You don't fix the symptom. You chop the head off of the problem by striking the fear of God into them in the first place. Now, if somebody does sabotage you or does attack you, it's not eye for an eye, and it's not forgive or forget. It depends on who the person is. In my world, you either have a brand or you don't. If you don't have a brand, it doesn't matter what you say. And nobody with a brain ever takes my name in vain. And that's for a very good reason. If you take my name in vain, I'll get you. So nobody with a brain says anything about me, ever. Nobody sabotages me. Nobody attacks me. That's what I mean. It is only people without a brain, i.e. the people without a brand, who say anything. The nobodies on YouTube, the nobody commenters, the Twitter followers who have 5 followers to their account. It is only people without a brain that attack me. The people with the brain, the people with the brand, know better. And I've even tried to pick a fight. I've tried to make it happen because conflict breeds new readership. Conflict breeds interest. So I love conflict, and I have been goading people with a brain and a brand to say my name in vain, but they have been too smart because I have an air of ruthlessness because I mean it. If you say my name in vain, I'll get you. And I use this same philosophy in my personal life. I'm very open with my money. I'm very open, for example, with my debit card. I will give anybody in my vicinity my debit card and my PIN code. I'll give that to basically anybody that I work with, anybody that I've seen on a few days basis. I have no fear of people stealing from me at all. I have no fear. I'm not hiding my money somewhere. I have no fear of people stealing from me because I have cultivated an air that if you do steal from me, I'll cut your fucking head off. So nobody has ever stolen from me. In so many years, people don't steal from me because you get to the root. You chop it off at the root. You don't treat a symptom. You chop it off at the root. So no, it's not an eye for an eye. If they try to take your eye, you take out the problem at the root. You don't take their eye. You take out the problem at the root. And the way that you take it out at the root is by cultivating an air of ruthlessness and mean it. That's the other thing. You should mean it. For me, nobody steals from me because it's not an act. If you steal from me, I'll cut your fucking head off. Figuratively. If you have a brand and you speak my name in vain, I'll get you. So mean it. Mean what you say. And people will keep a healthy distance. They won't try to sabotage you. They won't try to attack you. It's only the stupid people who will. But stupid people don't have brands, so it doesn't matter. When stupid people try to attack you, and I'm speaking, of course, about online people, they don't matter because they don't have a following. They don't have a brand. Nobody would follow them because they're not leaders. They are effeminate complainers. So for those people, I simply ignore. That is a part of being celebrity, is dealing with haters. And it's not a matter of the internet. Haters have been around all through the dawn of time. Go back and listen to Queen from the 1970s. Freddie Mercury's talking about the haters. So haters are always going to be there. We call them hungry ghosts because they are hungry for your life. They're hungry for your attention. They're hungry for anything. But we don't feed them. We ignore them. That's how they die. That's how hungry ghosts die. They want your energy and attention. And if you ignore them and don't give it to them, they die. If somebody with a brain and a brand comes after you, cut their fucking head off, figuratively. How do you know if somebody has a brain? Well, if they have a brand, they have a brain. If they don't have a brand, they don't have a brain. Simple as that. Thoughts on Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. To be honest, we've never used it. With Red Supplements, we have a great team in Boise that takes care of our shipping. We ship everything. Our people work 7 days a week. We don't fuck around with days off. So we ship everything super fast. We've never used Amazon FBA. I don't have any thoughts on it. It seems like it would be a great tool for a solopreneur, a solo entrepreneur, but I've never used it. So how do you pick yourself up from a dramatic setback? Well, you literally walk out the door. You literally put one foot in front of the other, and you literally put yourself in motion. Literally go for a walk. Literally ride a bicycle. Literally drive a car fast and far. That's how you literally pick yourself up from a dramatic setback. You simply start walking again. You simply start walking again. So you hit a stumbling block. Stand up. Keep walking. That's how you pick yourself up from a dramatic setback. Literally start walking again. Literally start walking towards a purpose, a goal, and anything. Literally start walking though. I'm not being figurative. I'm telling you, put your 2 feet in front of you and walk. Walk forward. Then get into a car, drive fast, and drive far. All those questions that don't make sense, that are swimming around in your head, they're going to become crystal clear when you drive fast and you drive far. What do you do when you lose motivation? I just told you. Drive fast, drive far. Is it okay to mirror sites like medium.com or quora.com when you're starting a blog? Perhaps just add a snippet and redirect links? No. When you start, this is what you do. You focus on one thing. You focus on your content. If you are trying to skip the fundamentals and go to advanced technique, what's going to happen? You're going to go from A back to A in a circle. You cannot do advanced technique before you understand the fundamentals. So no, when you're starting a blog, you don't mirror it on Quora.com. You don't mirror it on Medium.com for a reason. The same reason you don't go directly to the gym for the first time and try and curl 35-pound dumbbells when you can't curl 15-pound dumbbells. It's going to get you nowhere, and you are simply going to waste your time. When your content is good enough, then you can branch out into different strategies. If you spread your focus out, you spread your focus by putting your content here and putting your content here and being on social media here and doing this here. Your content is going to be shit, and you're going to go from A back to A in a circle. If you want to go from A to B in a straight line, make your content good and focus only on that. Don't spread yourself thin by doing 20 other things. How can I say that enough? Do one thing until you're good at it. What's your opinion on eugenics? I don't have one. I haven't thought about it. How do you channel guilt and shame? You channel guilt and shame the same way you channel anger or you channel happiness. You just use it. It is all energy. It is all fuel. Guilt and shame. Here's what you do to specifically channel guilt and shame. You agree and you amplify. You agree and you amplify. Whatever you're guilty of and ashamed of, say yeah, and then make it bigger. You want to know the literal way you get people to stop laughing at you. The way you get people to stop laughing at you. If somebody makes a joke at your expense and you want to make them stop laughing at you, laugh back at their joke harder than they're laughing. Laugh in their face. If somebody makes a joke about you and you don't like it, laugh in their fucking face as hard as you can. You know what's going to happen? They're going to shut up. Immediately, they're going to shut up. Say something about me, and I will laugh in your face harder than you laugh. And it will shut you up. Nobody likes to be laughed at. So when somebody is laughing at you, laugh back at them harder. Nobody likes to be laughed at. That's how you shut up people who try to make you feel guilt or shame or laugh at you. Laugh back harder. Agree and amplify. How many milligrams of testosterone per week are you taking? I take 200 milligrams of testosterone every 10 days. That would probably be about 170 milligrams per week. Prescribed by my kindly Dr. Feelgood. Who is Mammoth? Can you talk about who he is? Yeah, does this sound familiar? Put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers. That's a speech from the movie Glengarry Glen Ross. A very great speech, a very great movie, and it was written by a very great writer named David Mamet. You see, this speech in David Mamet's movies, specifically Glengarry Glen Ross, is always right on time. Nobody is unsure when they speak David Mamet's words. Why are they not unsure when they speak David Mamet's words? Because they always speak the words right on time. There's no filler in David Mamet's words. There is no room to speak late in David Mamet's words. Why? Because David Mamet writes to a metronome. He writes to time. That's why all of his characters know exactly what they're saying, and they're right on time, and they are not unsure about what they're saying, because David Mamet writes to a metronome. When you write to a metronome, you have to get the words on the beat. You can't get the words after the beat or they don't work. You have to get the words on the beat. To get the words on the beat, you have to be sure of what the words are. Writing to a metronome is a lot like writing to Twitter. For Twitter, you have a 140 character count limit. You have to get your message in 140 characters. If you don't, your message won't get out. So it forces you to say your actual message. You don't have any room after 140 characters to say anything else. So get out the fucking filler and put your exact meaning in. The same thing when you write to a metronome. There's no room for filler when you write to a metronome because you have to write on time. You have to speak the words on time. You cannot speak the words late or it sounds stupid. That's why you write to a metronome. That's why you write like Mamet. That's why you write like David Mamet. What is the best thing an immobilized, depressed drug addict can do? Put your boots on, put one foot in front of the other, and go for a walk. I mean that literally. If you can, get into a car and drive far. If you want to quit drugs, here's what you do. Get into a car and start driving. When you use drugs, they make your body feel like you're in motion. But you use them because you're not in motion. So, to make your body think it's in motion, you actually be in motion by literally getting into a car and driving far. That's what an immobilized, depressed drug addict can do right now, this minute, to feel better immediately. Get into a car and drive far and drive fast. Put your body in motion. Put your body in motion to calm your mind, to not overthink about those pretend withdrawal symptoms. It's not withdrawal when you stop using drugs. It's not withdrawal. Your body stops being in motion, all right? When you use drugs, your body feels like it's in motion. That's why you use the drugs, because your body's screaming to be in motion and you're not giving it motion. So when you take those drugs away, you go back to not being in motion. You go back to living life in black and white. And it feels intolerable because you are dead. You are dying spiritually if you're not moving. So what do? To be alive, you literally move. Literally drive fast and far. Get into a car, drive far. That's literally what you do if you're a depressed drug addict who is immobile. Become mobile and fix all of your symptoms like that. When is it worth it to physically engage in a fight? It's worth it when you know you're not going to go to jail. You know you're not going to kill the person, and you know you're going to win. That's when it's worth it. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Especially if you live in the United States, you're going to go to jail for getting into a little fight. So it's totally not worth it unless you know you're not going to go to jail, you know you're going to win, and you know you're not going to kill the person. Sometimes it's necessary to get into a little fisticuffs, but you got to make sure you're not going to go to jail and you're not truly going to harm the person irreparably. How to deal with someone who steals money from you. Example, the gym stole $100 when I left. This is a question. What to do when someone steals money from you. Example, the gym that stole $100 from you. Here's what you do. You develop a brand, and then you put them on blast for stealing from you. Like when Airbnb stole $70 from me, and I told everybody that Airbnb stole $70 from me, and you should never stay with Airbnb because they stole $70 from me. That's how you deal with people who steal from you. You develop a brand. You develop a name for yourself. That way, when somebody fucks with you, you can put it out there in the world and say, Airbnb stole $70 from me. I spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars with them. And they had the nerve to steal $70 from me. And now all of you know it. And Airbnb is losing all that business because I have a brand. You see, that's what you do when somebody steals from you. You develop power so that you can turn the table back on them and put them on blast. Stealing money is not okay, Airbnb. So that's what you do. You develop a brand and tell the world who stole from you. Best advice for people starting uni. Yeah, walk out the fucking door, don't go back. Is getting big worth it in the end? I don't know if you mean bodybuilding or fame. I'll answer both. Is getting big worth it in a bodybuilding sense? Yes, it is, because it teaches you discipline. It teaches you work ethic. It teaches you how to get through the pain and grow. It literally teaches you how to grow. What is getting bigger? It's growing. Is growing worth it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even if you get too heavy and you want to scale back down to a more manageable weight, that's fine. The fun is in the building, not in the garden anyway. The fun is always in the building. Building the body is the fun part. Maintaining it and carrying that weight around, if you want to lose it like I did, that's fine. That's fine. But the fun is in the building. And in the building teaches you what you need to know. You can learn how to start a business by learning how to build your body. If you can build one thing, you can build another. So if you can build your body, if you can maintain that discipline, if you can maintain that strict routine, you can do anything. You can do anything. Is it worth it getting big in the end? Yes, it is, for what it teaches you. Regarding fame, is that worth it in the end? I don't know. Because I'm not at the end of that, am I? I'm not at the end. I'm just on the cusp of that. I'm just on the cusp of being famous. I never wanted to be famous. Which is why I changed my brand name so that I wouldn't. But a funny thing happened. It came to me anyway. So now I just simply have to embrace it. You have to grow. You always have to grow. Is growth worth it? Growth is worth it. Yes, it is. Even if you don't like some of the side effects, like being noticed in person. Growth is worth it. Is it worth it to grow? It's always worth it to grow. Speaking of growth, the paperback version of New World Ronin is going to grow in your hands very, very soon. You'll have it in your hands before Christmas. Shout out to Germany. See you later.